For the past month, you guys have been blowing up my comments, begging for a Sweatshop build. Whether you didn't have the brick press unlocked yet, or you were just trying to squeeze every last dollar out of your properties, y'all have been itching for this tutorial more than Jesse going through withdrawals. But the problem is that it's a super small space, and you can only have one employee, so there really isn't much you can do with it. I honestly never planned on making a tutorial for the Sweatshop, but everything changed last weekend when the developer killed my friend, Buggy. You see, this little guy allowed us to sell unpackaged product to all of our customers, and he's been around since the game launched. But last weekend, Tyler decided enough was enough, and he killed our friendly bug. And now that he's dead, we have to package every single product before selling it, which means I finally have a use for the Sweatshop. I turned it into the ultimate packaging center. Simply put in the product, and our handy handler will automatically package our products for us to sell to our customers. This build is super simple to set up, and it's incredibly cheap. It's actually perfect for beginners. And listen, I'm not going to say this build is the best thing in the world, but it's basically the only thing you can use the Sweatshop for, so here's the layout. I know it looks like a lot, but you really only need 10 things for this build to run at max efficiency. Everything else is just for fluff. You only need 6 large racks, 2 safes, a locker, and the highest tier packaging station you can get your hands on. Oh, and you also need to hire a handler. Let's get to building. First thing we're going to do is go inside and place our safes down. You can get these from Bluebell Boutique next to the post office. Then we're going to plop down the packaging station. Again, I'm using a Mark II, but if you don't have that unlocked yet, just use the Mark I for the time being. Then we're going to go along this back wall right here and place our 6 shelves. And then slap down the locker. And that's all you need for this farm to function at maximum efficiency. Just those 10 items. I told you guys the setup was pretty simple, but I guess I should explain a bit how this build works now that we're done placing all the essential items. You see, whether you want to package with jars or baggies, this build's got you covered, but the optimization is a tad bit different for both of them, so make sure you pay attention here. If you want to package your products with baggies, then it's pretty simple. You need 1 baggie for every product. That's the ratio, and it's not very complicated. We're going to stock these 2 shelves with baggies, and the 2 shelves next to it are going to hold the product that we want to get packaged. The handler will grab them off the shelf and automatically stock the packaging station, all by himself. The last 2 shelves are just to store extra product in baggies to make reloading the build a bit easier. The handler won't be using them at all. And since we're only using 4 routes to do all of that, the last route is going to be moving it from one safe to the other. We put in 2 shelves of product and 2 shelves of baggies, and we get out exactly 2 shelves of packaged product. Perfect ratio. But if you'd rather use jars, the ratio changes quite a bit. You see, jars stack to 20, and since each jar holds 5 product, 1 full rack of jars is technically enough for 5 full shelves of product. But our handler doesn't have enough routes to actually do all of that, so we do the best we can instead. Instead of having 2 shelves for packaging supplies and 2 shelves for our drugs, instead we're going to do 1 shelf for jars and 4 shelves for our products. The last shelf, just like before, is used for storing all the leftovers. Having 5 shelves like this does take up all 5 of the routes that the handler can have, so we actually aren't going to be using one of the safes. But you don't have to worry about running out of room for all of those packaged products, because the second half of this build has tons of storage. Now, I do want to point out that everything I'm about to add is not mandatory. You don't need it for the build to work properly. I'm just building it because I want to maximize the space we have. Start by lining the entire back wall with large storage racks. Throw down a bunch of safes, and then top it off with 2 more large storage racks here. All this extra storage is for holding our products that are ready to be sold. I mean, you gotta keep them somewhere. And again, you don't need any of this for the farm to run. You just need the first 10 items. But boy does it all look pretty put together. Now that the build is completely done, it's time to set up our only employee, the handler. First thing we do is assign him a locker and make sure we put some money in it. Then we assign him the packaging station and set the destination to the safe on the left. Now finally, we can get to his routes. The little things that make this entire build possible. And remember, it's different depending on whether you want to package with jars or baggies. If you want baggies, make a route from each of these 4 shelves to the packaging station, and then 1 more route from the left safe to the right safe. If you want to do jars instead, just select all 5 of these shelves and set them up to go to the packaging station. Again, if you're doing jars, we only need one safe, not two, because one full rack of jars fits perfectly into one safe. And it's technically over 3,000 products, so you shouldn't need extra room. And now, all that's left is to stock up the shelves with some cheap baggies and a bit of our heavenly grade kush. And the handler should automatically start stocking everything up. He'll grab it off the shelf, throw it in the packaging station, and then gently place it all in the safe. Perfecto. And before all the comments start rolling in, this is my build for the motel room. It's my pimp pad, filled with alcohol and gamer subs, which you can get 10% off by using code BIGWILLY at checkout. Sorry, I had to plug it. Stay silly, y'all.